Okay, I'm on a bun making kick. I made those buns earlier this week, and now I just keep thinking about different ways to make buns. I will say, if you saw the recipe, they were delicious. So do I need another bun? No, I don't. But the reason this all started was because the heavy cream powder is expensive. It was 1 pound for about $20 on Amazon. I did notice that if you buy the 2 pound container, it's $30. So if you think you might like them or you have another use for the powder, I would go with the $30 one. It's a much better value. But I typed it into chat and it said there were a couple of things I could do to not just maximize my heavy cream powder, like make it go further, and still get the same type of bun, but also it gave me a recipe for one with egg white protein powder, and I already had this. I bought it for something. I think I used it in a recipe, but I don't really remember what. I kind of vaguely remember. It was probably some type of bun or something. I don't know. But anyway, I have that, so I'm going to try it that way. I'm going to make another video. I'm probably going to wear the same clothes. I'm doing this all on the same day. And I'm going to make another video with the heavy cream powder again. It said to, instead of 1.5 cups or however many grams that was, like 144 grams or something like that. Instead of that, you use 1 cup of the heavy cream powder and 1/4 of a cup of water, and I think 1/4 of a cup of actual liquid heavy cream, which I already have because I use it for my coffee. So it eliminates 1/2 cup of the heavy cream powder, which in a way, it's not a huge vast savings, but it does spread it a little further. So today I'm trying 2 completely different recipes, and I may even throw in a 3rd recipe because I've been on this kick for the past couple of weeks where I've been making my own homemade yogurt, and I strained some of the yogurt so much purposely because I want to try to make cream cheese. So while I don't have the steps of me actually making the cream cheese, which I will make a video of that, I'm going to add the flavorings to it and see if it comes out. So it'll probably be a little short, generic type of video, but if it does come out, I'm definitely going to make a video on how I've been making my yogurt. The cream cheese one comes out today with the flavorings, then I will show you how I make that, which is just an additional step past making the yogurt. So I might get 3 videos out of this. I might just get 2. I don't know. I'll be wearing the same stuff. So if you wonder, they're not all going to be posted at the same time, but I turned my Alexa off because I needed the outlet. It's 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to start with the egg white protein ones. I'm worried. I do think that they're going to be spongy, and I'm having the recipe because I do not want all of these if they're gross. I could probably muster shoving 2 down, but I did half the recipe because I don't really have a huge expectation for these. I did ask chat to provide me with a recipe that kind of cut out some of the eggy taste and the sponginess of it, because I do believe that's how it's going to turn out. It gave me some seasonings to add to it, which if you've made my total milk protein biscuits or buns, they also are very milky. So I add seasoning to them, and honestly, it masks it a lot. I don't think it's going to mask the texture, but I'm hoping it masks that eggy taste. I do love eggs. I eat eggs 5-6 days a week, but I don't really want my bread to taste eggy. Anyways, I already have the product. That's why I'm trying it, even though despite my intuition tells me that it's going to be spongy and eggy. I'm still going for it. So this particular recipe, I am using my stand mixer because I think you can do this by hand, but it's going to take you quite a long time because you do need to get the stiff peak. With the last recipe that I did with the heavy cream powder, it said stiff peaks, but this is more like an even stiffer peak, I think, so it's going to take longer. It did say it would be best to weigh out the ingredients rather than measure 1/4 cup of powder. So it said 30 grams. All right, I have 30 grams. You probably cannot see, but it is on a kitchen scale. I will show you the kitchen scale that I have because I got it on Amazon and it was, I think, under $6 or $7. It does require like a watch battery type thing for the back. I think it came with one. I don't know. It's been a while since I bought it. I've had a kitchen scale for a long time, but this is a newer one. NutriFit. It's down here and you can't really see it because the sun. It's just a cheap little scale. It was like under $7, I think. A fourth of a cup, 30 grams, really isn't all that much. It called for a fourth cup of water. I have such a small kitchen. This was not, I can't find my liquid measuring cup, so I'm trying to do it by weight. And I've already gone over, which is not that huge of a deal, I don't think, but that's why you don't do it that way. I can still get some of the liquid out without getting the powder. Not a big deal. Don't do it the way that I did it. Called for warm water. I'm guessing that's about 110 degrees-ish. I'm not going as far as to actually test the temperature of it. That's a bit much. 4 teaspoon of vinegar, and this one is going to be more of an issue for me because I have to get a fourth of a teaspoon out without spilling it everywhere, and I do not want to do this one over top of my container. I know, buddy. Yeah, I have to fill this tiny little 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm going to do this over the sink because I am likely going to overflow it and spill it. My cat, I don't know exactly how old he is because I got him as a stray from the vet and they said he was about 6 months. I think they were a little bit shy or a little bit too generous with his age, but he's definitely not a year yet. He's probably maybe around the 8 or 9 month mark, and he is going through some terrible twos. I'm telling you, the past couple of days he has completely destroyed my toilet paper roll. I've literally had to take it off the thing and move it onto the shelf behind the toilet. He's driving me crazy. He's got like little murder mitten daggers. He's such a sweetheart and he's so loving, but he's crazy. He's crazy. I don't know what I was thinking when I got a kitten. I love him, but he's crazy. Also, I don't know where everybody else lives, but in Ohio, we have like hazardous air quality right now. I'm using a fourth of a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, rosemary, and parsley, and a pinch of salt. So, I got my rosemary. Yeah, we have the smoke coming from the Canada fires, and it's like very, very hazy out there. It almost looks like fog. Yesterday I could smell the smoke around 7 p.m. when I went outside. I've had the dog out a couple of times. I don't really smell the smoke today, but actually the air quality today is worse than it was yesterday. We're at like 325 or something. I don't know really what that means on the index, but it's a lot higher today than it was yesterday. So actually the weather isn't going to be quite as hot today. I think it's going to be about 85, which is hot, arguably, but yesterday I think it was like 90, and it was also incredibly humid. It was like 104 out. I don't think it's going to be quite as hot today. Ideally, I would love to open the windows and just let some air in, because when I woke up this morning at 6, it was 69 out and it was beautiful, but it's crazy. The air quality is not good, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm probably going to edit here because it does say due to stiff peaks for all of the liquidy stuff. I did ask to confirm that I was supposed to put the seasonings in with the liquid and the powder. It said yes. And then at the end, I need to add a fourth of a tablespoon of melted butter. I have some butter sitting here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to turn this on. I put the butter in the microwave for too long, like 25 to 30 seconds. It was already soft, but it wasn't melted, and now it's too hot, so I kind of gotta let it take the edge off for a second. It took about 3 to 4 minutes to get these stiff type peaks. Like I said, you might not want to do this by hand. If you made my other recipe with a heavy cream powder, it took about 8 minutes with the stand mixer, but it was a whole egg, 3 of them. So you might not want to use your hand for that either. You can, but I don't have the muscle strength for that personally. A stand mixer or a cheap hand mixer, or maybe even an immersion blender would work, maybe. I don't know. I have an immersion blender, but I've never used it for anything like this. So it's not very hot. The bowl is a little bit hot, but the actual butter isn't. And it said to, I don't know that this really matters, but it said to kind of put it down the side of the pan and kind of fold it in. Maybe that's just so it doesn't get like straight on it, but it did anyway, so who cares. It did say to fold it gently and don't overfold, because then it breaks up the peaks. I don't know. I mean, it smells good. Does that mean anything? Not necessarily, because it's eggy, but it doesn't smell eggy. I did ask that question of whether or not it was going to be like an Egglife wrap, only, you know, thicker. It said, to be truthful, probably, but that's kind of what the seasoning is for. And some people don't really care so much about the eggy texture. And this might be great for you, because this honestly is close to 0 carbs. Well, there is 0 carbs in this. So it is much more closer to 0 carb. Trying to remember what all I put in it. Water, a little bit of vinegar. I don't think there's any carbs in that. The seasonings maybe have a minuscule amount of carbs for the amount I used. But if that's what you're looking for and you still want the bun type of feel, then this is probably going to be a much better option. And I can't remember how much I paid for this. It's an 8-ounce package, so I don't know how much I paid for it. You do only need 1/4 of a cup of it. I think you need 1/2 cup if you make the full recipe as it was written, but I'm not doing that. I've got too much going on. Okay, it said to break it up into 2, and you're not going to be able to touch this because it's like a foamy, not really foamy, but it is like a stiff peak. You're not going to be able to use your hand. I'm just going to use my ice cream scoop like I did last time, and I still think that I'm going to get probably 3 out of it. I have my doubts, but to be fair, I had my doubts about the last bun recipe that I did. I didn't think they were going to taste quite as good as they did, in my opinion. I'm sure not everybody's going to like them, but I certainly did. I got 3. It said 2. I bet if you wanted them to be even bigger, obviously you could just make 2. They're pretty big. I don't know if they're gonna collapse or if they're gonna expand. I don't know what's gonna happen. It said 18 to 20 minutes, 325 degrees. I need to check my recipe. It said 2 mounds. I have 3. 18 to 20 minutes, 325 degrees. Set it for 16 minutes. But this is the brand that I have of the egg white powder. It's 8 ounces, and I don't remember how much I paid for it. It would be nice if these were good. Even if they're good, I don't think they're going to be as good as the ones I made the other day. I don't know. I'm kind of sold on them. They're clearly not bread, but they did taste very bread-like. I haven't eaten bread in 3 years almost, so for me, it was good. And it's not really cost effective, and they were kind of heavy in calories. I think each one was like 300 calories, but I actually enjoyed a sandwich this week. Like I said, I've eaten sandwich components. I actually had an actual sandwich in my mind. It held together when I ate it. It didn't start crumbling apart or anything. So I don't know. This would be another cost-effective way to make a bun if they come out well. I don't really know that I have great hopes, but I'm going to start cleaning this stuff up. And I will absolutely try them on camera. Now, I will say, though, that chat said that they are much better and much less eggy texture and taste if you let them cool completely, and even if you put them in the fridge for several hours. So I think it said overnight, or at least a couple of hours. So I don't know. I may do that because I want to give it the best honest review that I can. And I think that if I tell you they're incredibly eggy when they first come out and they're still warm or even lukewarm, maybe that's not going to be a great representation, because obviously if it said to cut some of that taste and sponginess, that you needed to refrigerate it. So I might not come back to these until later today. And I don't even know what time it is. It's 9:48 in the morning right now. So I might not come back with these until later today. Okay. The egg ones are done. They are firm on the top. I did 18 minutes. I'm going to let them cool, I guess. I'm actually going to take them off of, I mean, that's a decent sign, I guess. They look good. I don't know. They look eggy, but they look good. They're not burnt. They kind of have like that meringue type top. So I'm going to move this to wherever I can safely put it in my kitchen to let it cool. Then I'm going to put them in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then I will come back to test them. I just kind of loosened them. They smell like seasoning. They don't smell like egg, obviously. They smell very nice. They're very soft. The bottoms are not burnt. I think it was 16 minutes on 325. They puffed up. They didn't expand. So I don't know. They smell good. I don't know what they're going to taste like. I don't know. They smell good. I don't know what they're going to taste like. Okay, so hopefully you've been along for the ride. I have 3 different recipes in this video. Same clothes, same day, different videos. I've got all kinds of things floating around that I made from my last recipe. Today I have made homemade cream cheese. I did not show how to make the cream cheese, just the end result. I will make a video of that. I made heavy cream bread, heavy cream powder bread. That's the one. And I made these egg white buns. They've been in the fridge for about an hour or two. They're kind of tacky, kind of like an Egglife wrap. It's like that foamy texture, but it's not. They smell really good, but I added seasonings. So right now I'm just going to show you how they taste, or how I think they taste. They're very flexible. They're not large. You can absolutely make them any size you want. It said I got 2 buns out of it. I got 3. If I had made them bigger, obviously I would have got 2. Or I could have made one massive one and just had one. I don't know. But I did cut that recipe in half because I don't know what to expect. I'm just going to go for it and taste it. This has nothing on it. It's just seasoned. The dough, like the batter is seasoned. I'm surprised. I will say I'm surprised. It isn't spongy, but the texture's different. It's almost like, I don't want to say cotton candy. You know how you put cotton candy in your mouth and it dissolves? It's kind of like that. I did chew it, but it kind of feels like it's going to dissolve in your mouth. It feels like it's going to dissolve in your mouth like cotton candy, but it doesn't really dissolve. I did chew it. I will say I like it with the seasoning, because I don't think that it would taste that good without seasoning. It might be worth trying it without seasoning. If you're 100% carnivore or whatever and you don't want to add any seasoning to it, you might want to try it that way. I will say this is much better than cloud bread. Would I make it again? Yes, I would make it again. Simply because the egg white protein powder is less expensive than the heavy cream powder. And they're fine. I wouldn't want to make these every single week. I would absolutely want to make the heavy cream powder ones every week. They're delicious. These are more like maybe once a month kind of thing, but having this on hand, and chat said that you can freeze it. It said it did freeze a little bit differently than the others, or unthaw a little differently. Like it said, when you take them out of the freezer, don't let them get to room temperature and unthaw, or put them in the fridge and let them unthaw overnight. You would want to take them out of the freezer and then put them in the air fryer, or put them in the oven or in a pan to kind of get like that liquid that would absorb out of it. So you would have to go about these a little bit differently if you froze them, but they're good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say they're like a 5.5 or a 6. They're not bad. I mean, I would make them again. I'm going to put a little bit of my homemade cream cheese on the corner of it, which is horse seasoning. I don't know how this is going to taste. It would be good with an egg. I don't care for it as much with the cream cheese. I think it's just too much oniony flavor at that point, because my cream cheese has all the same seasonings that I put in these. So I don't know that I would add that. It doesn't taste bad. It's not my favorite. They're very soft. Sorry. The texture is different, but they're not bad. They're good. 5.5 or 6 out of 10. I would make them again. Would not be something that I make every single week. Once a month or two, absolutely. I would have this stuff on hand to make them. They're good. I think they'd be really good with eggs. I mean, it has eggs in it, but it would be good with eggs as well. And they're essentially, I don't know if they were 0 carb, but they were much lower carb. So absolutely worth it. Yes. Yes, I think they're good. Okay, thank you for watching. If you've watched these videos, I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I talk to my dog and my cat all day, so now I'm just talking to you. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you will try them. And again, the powder is slightly cheaper than the heavy cream powder, so there you go.